Hey family, welcome back to the Amplify You podcast, and welcome back to my sister and business partner Michelle from her international speaking tour in Asia. Welcome back, Michelle.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to be back. It's taken a few days to get over jet lag. And for those of you guys that don't know about this trip, I was on it's called the Freedom Summit. I was asked to speak the Freedom Summit in Asia, which was me and 10 other, well, sometimes up to 50 other speakers on different stages in Asia. We went to the Philippines, we went to Malaysia, and then we went to Singapore. I was on board for those three events. And then after I left, they went to Bali and Thailand, which I'm sad to have missed those, but happy to be home with my family and slowly getting over jet lag.
Well, that's a trip of a lifetime for any traveler, but to do that trip as a speaker on an international stages, tell us, how was that experience for you?
That was really cool. It's my first time being an international speaker, other than, a little talk in the US I gave last year while I was RVing, but that didn't really feel the same way. This year, yeah, it was pretty neat to become an international speaker. What was really cool about the event is that they had positioned it as, it's called the Freedom Summit. It was for digital nomads, and the basis of it was how you can become, financially free, and free to travel the world and work from wherever in the world. And of course, that's what I do for a living, is work from my laptop like you do from wherever we want to be. So that was really cool. And the second thing that was really neat about it is that this was so newsworthy. All of these international speakers coming to speak in Asia, they were speaking on all sorts of different topics like Facebook ads and Udemy courses and personal freedom, as far as like personal development stuff, mindset, motivation, those kind of things. But, it was interesting. Out of all those talks, we were in front of a lot of media, and the media that kept picking up the stories were specifically focusing on podcasting, which I found kind of funny and really great, obviously, because that meant that we were in the media quite a bit, which was very cool.
So why is that? Why was podcasting the topic that they kept being drawn towards when they were interviewing all of these speakers? Not saying that you're not the draw, but there's 10, 12 speakers on tour, and it was your topic that was getting a lot of attention in the media. Why was that?
Yeah, it's interesting because in North America right now, podcasting, we all know what podcasting is, and we have been hearing about it for a few years now. We're, since 2012, it's been kind of going like this, and then 2018, it did this. And
for those that are just listening, Michelle ran her hand across the screen as flat and then straight up, like it's skyrocketed.
Right. For those that are listening, it was a straight flat line, nothing exciting really happening. It gained a little bit of momentum from 2012 to 2018, and then the last half of 2018, it really skyrocketed and it really took off in a straight line, straight up 90 degrees. So that was kind of my interpretation of how podcasting has been for the last 5 years. Whereas in Asia, I wanted to kind of relate podcasting to what their opportunity is in Asia right now. And so each country I went to, I kind of looked up what the main podcasters were and that kind of thing. I was fortunate enough to meet some of the top podcasters in some of those countries, which was very cool. But they've been lone soldiers out there. There's not many other people that are podcasting. Not many people know that what they're talking about. And for the people that I did meet and connect with, for them, podcasting has been a way for them to be able to reach their business to North America audience and worldwide audience, which has been very good for their business. So there's a really huge opportunity in Asia right now. I was the first international speaker to come and speak about podcasting in all three of those countries, which I think was super cool to be able to say that. And it was really exciting to see how moved the audiences were about the opportunities available to them in podcasting. And when I spoke about 3 different opportunities that they have in podcasting, one is being the host themselves, which a lot of people, most people in North America, that's the route that they take, is to be a host themselves, and that's what they're interested in. 2 is to be a guest on someone else's show to showcase your business and market your business by being a guest. And then the third opportunity I found to be particularly exciting for the Filipino audience, because the Filipino audience, a lot of them are freelancers or virtual assistants. And so the opportunity to become a podcast manager was really eye-opening for them, because they are already being asked to do some of these tasks, like edit a show or video, or create some music to an intro, and they're not really like super skilled at that particular task just yet. And so the opportunity to become a podcast manager and learn how to do it and do it for more of their clients was really exciting for them. So that was neat to see their response to the opportunities I was bringing and presenting to them on stage.
Well, I heard some really interesting pieces there. One is that the people who have a business that are using podcasting, it's allowing them to reach North America from Asia with their business, because podcasting is worldwide. Now, for the other people that in this gig economy where Fiverr and Uber, where everybody is running their own shop, but through different mediums, they're able to support people, again, internationally. There's no borders on work anymore. And so what you were saying is that this is a world of people who are trained and skilled in the virtual assistant type of work. And you were the first person to really introduce podcasting as one of the tools that they can add into their resources that they can do for clients.
Yeah, they're really excited about that. I mean, when some of the partners in the event was the Virtual Assistants Network of Asia, and as well as the Filipino Work at Home Moms group, and both of those communities were so interested in the fact that they could potentially be offering this to some of their existing clients. A lot of their clients are starting a podcast, and they didn't really realize it was something that they could offer as a service for their existing clients, and then to learn the skills that need to be included in podcast managing. It's not far from what they were already doing, so the learning curve wouldn't be that bad. So they were quite excited. And then also the opportunity that, I mean, we profit share with our podcast managers. Not every company does, and not every virtual assistant and expert kind of situation does that. But when I was saying that we do profit share, that is an exciting opportunity for them as well, because they're the income average in the Philippines is around $400 US a month, which is quite low. So for them to be able to rise above that level by reaching a worldwide audience and helping support their clients in a better way with the skills that they have, I think that's really awesome. It's a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. And much like with our mission with Amplify You, what they would be doing is providing the technical side of support so that the clients, like the ones we work with, are able to focus on their genius, which is content creation and delivering value to their clients. So not only are they able to then produce an income for themselves, but they're also doing a service to the rest of the world by allowing these people who have a voice and a message to be heard get that message out more easily without the headaches and concerns of having to deal with the technical side of podcasting.
Absolutely. Yeah. They were really excited about that. So that was neat to see, specifically in the Philippines. And in Malaysia and Singapore, people were more interested in becoming podcast hosts themselves, and sharing their message with the world. They were more entrepreneurial, with messages that were in a wide range of different niches. And I think, no matter what they choose, whether it's being a guest, being a podcast listener even, or being a podcast host or a podcast manager, I think the opportunity is there to really get in touch with podcasting. And I had quite a few people in the audience who had tried to start their own show, and they just couldn't find the resources to support getting their own show started. So I was happy that we were able to connect with those kind of people and get them set up. I mean, if we had this opportunity in North America, like we did 5 years ago to start podcasting, I always said, I would take that in 2 seconds, like, start now. The Filipino podcaster Marvin, he's got a freelancing podcast, which is really great. And we were looking at his statistics, and he's not just ranking high in the Philippines. He's the #1 podcast in the Philippines, but looking outwards, he's also ranking really high in the Middle East. He's up high in some European countries, also in North America. In some different categories, he's ranking in the top 100. So that's incredible for his freelancing business to be able to support having listeners in all over the world.
So really, this is a free platform to get international exposure. And Asia seems like an untapped market.
Yeah, exactly. So they're super excited to hear about it. So, when we were in Asia, we had a press conference with 15 newspapers came out. So we were published in the Business Mirror. We were published in in a Chinese newspaper. We were published in all sorts of different newspapers on some blogs. And they really picked up on the podcasting thing as being something that was really important. We were also on Xinhua TV being interviewed by one of their anchors there, and we also were on a radio show as well, which is super cool. And interesting enough, the radio host, he holds the record for the most amount of TED Talks in all of the Philippines, Mike Callis, and it's so cool because he's going to become a podcaster now. So I'm super excited to work with him.
So you've been in great company with amazing speakers, and now I'm a business partner and brother to an international speaker on the Expert in Podcasting. Mm-hmm. What a great title to add to the Amplify You team. I absolutely love that.
I think that's awesome. And now it's your turn next to go on the next trip with me. Yeah, I'm not going without you this time.
So the Freedom Summit organizers are organizing more tours. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. As of right now, that's the plan. They're going to try to do one in every continent over the next couple of years. So we have more opportunities. Plus, I think we will be back to the Philippines for sure later this year because they are just wanting us to come and train them to be podcast managers. And I think the best way to do that is to go there and be in person with them because they're such loving, caring, awesome people. So I love that. I love that opportunity.
Anything else you would like to share with the audience on what you learned by bringing podcasting to Asia?
What I learned is that we're in a little bubble here in North America, and we think that because we know what's going on and we know podcasting is hot, that the rest of the world must also know that. So I didn't actually really realize that podcasting is really new on the horizon in Asia until I got there. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to be kind of first on the scene there talking about podcasting because that's made me realize that there's a lot of other opportunities outside of North America to really start talking about podcasting on a bigger scale, on a more worldwide scale. And I think it's just such a great platform. I mean, obviously, you know that we're huge advocates of podcasting, but it's just such a great way to get your content marketing done in a fashion that's like concise and easy while you record all your episodes in one go. We can utilize all that content from transcriptions and through blog posts and posting it on your website and syndicating it out to all the social media channels and all the other hosting channels. Also in video, there's no better way to get your content done when we're in such a noisy world where we're so focused on having to have content in so many different places. Podcasting is such a great way to just focus on doing just a few hours of really good content per month and then letting us, a company like what we do, or podcast manager, take over and do the rest for you. I think that's so empowering as a business owner and someone who is a podcast host to be able to know that there's something available like that out there. You don't have to do it all yourself, nor do you have to learn the technology and tools that are required to do a podcast.
It's brilliant. And if there is any doubt, you look at the last 10 years of how artists, companies, and even brands have completely redefined themselves using YouTube. And YouTube has just blown up all kinds of businesses for people. And podcasting is a similar platform uninhibited by the visual aspect. You can take it with you wherever you want to go. There really is no limits.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also heard a funny statistic the other day that YouTube actually is one of the number one podcast listening platform. What? Say that again. YouTube is the number one podcast listening platform now. That's crazy, right?
Can we explain how that works for our clients? Is when they record an episode, we get them to record it in video component as well. Even if it's not recorded in video component, we can still add an image to the audio file and upload that to YouTube.
Yep. So then now you've got these podcasts that are technically audio files or video files, depending on, like Brain said, what you do, whether you do the video or the audio. And so you've got, now people are listening to podcasts through YouTube, which is great. More listening, more listeners, more, that's all great, right? All positive. So I think that was really interesting quote. Or a statistic, and I'm not sure where I saw that from, but it was somewhere on social media just recently. I thought, what? That is very cool.
Well, that's just one more piece to show that the podcast can be your content generation hub for your business. We can transcribe that, use it for written blog posts, Instagram posts, Twitter feeds, quotes, and then, of course, YouTube.
Awesome. And, as I was giving away on stage from Asia, if you're interested in getting that first piece of the creation part of podcasting, you're ready to get going, you want to learn how to create a show, head over to my podcast host or my podcastcoach.com and you can take a look at and download the free giveaway there. That is a workbook that can work you through the first steps of getting started on the podcast. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We're always here to answer all of those awesome questions for you. And we might even answer them on the show one day for you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Michelle, for coming back. We're glad to have you back.